Hey, hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna read more ghost stories. So I found this website on the internet, and so far it's all about people's stories. So we're gonna read one and then we'll go on to the next one so that you guys can listen in to the stories. This one is about he leaves scribbles on my notepad. So we're going to read that one and then we'll go on to the next one. Okay. There is the ghost of a young boy who lives in our house that our guests have seen. We rent from the original owner and there is no bad history. But a dozen people have seen him walking around upstairs. I leave my phone on the nightstand at night and I often find hundreds of scribbles open on the notepad when I wake up. And that was a quite short one. The next one. What's her name? One night when my daughter was 2.5 years old, we were home alone talking right before bed. We were playing a game where we gave her all her stuffed animals silly names, named the last one, and she asks, "What's her name?" I said something along the lines of, "Who? Honey, we already named everyone." Then she points to the blank wall and says, "That little girl." Now, I don't know if I was an overactive imagination or something else. All I know is that it freaked me out enough to sleep with the lights on for the next few weeks. Okay, guys, ready for the next story? The Ghost of a Country Music Fan. I lived alone in an old house in the historic district of Memphis. I'd often get woken up in the middle of the night to country music coming from the radio. I don't listen to country music, and the radio had a dial. I'd have to change the dial back to my normal station while I was getting ready for work in the morning. How odd is that? We have no idea where the glass came from. One night my mom heard a loud crashing noise in our kitchen, but I figured I was up and dropped something. The next morning my dad walked downstairs and thought there was ice on the kitchen floor, but he said after looking at it, the ice wasn't melting, it was glass shards. They cleaned up the glass which was on the floor, countertops, and even under the lip of the countertops along the top of some drawer cabinets. It was as if someone stood back and threw a glass object at the wall or something. We had no idea where it was from. The glass was too thick to be any of the vases or glasses or even bowls in the house. We had a huge family meeting in the kitchen trying to figure out what happened and where the glass came from. We don't have an idea. Okay. There was a ghost. Here's another story. There was a ghost playing tricks on me. I'm sure there was a ghost playing tricks on me. One evening I was watching TV while sitting on the sofa. I had a rubber band in my hand and flicked it across the room and an arch behind the TV. Next thing I know, it drops on my head. There wasn't enough power to bounce off walls, so I have no idea how it ended up in my hand. Right. My parents had to take down the wallpaper. I have memories as a young child in a certain house. Many bizarre things have happened, and I have no logical explanation for them. The best I can do is to explain them logically, are hallucinations, but I have never explained anything away from that home. The oddest one to me to do with my new wallpaper. We had to change it. It had dinosaurs on it. I would see the dinosaurs marching around and killing each other, but this happened during the same time several nights until we took it down. Items used to move and get thrown on their own accord. A particular favourite was a rocking chair. It would change positions and rock. One night when my grandparents were staying over, I awoke to find someone I didn't know in the chair who looked strange. A stuffed animal walked one time. I awoke with scratches that looked like nails. Maybe it was it's a swear word, child brain, but I don't remember it that way, but the scratches are very strange. Mary Todd Lincoln, is that you? I went to a Lincoln expert when I was very young, but there was a rocking chair. As soon as I saw it, I saw a woman in period dress with brown hair knitting something and rocking in the chair. After like 2 seconds, the image vanished. I would attribute it to an imagination, except the image was very vivid and clear, and I've never seen anything like it since. She screamed in my ear. When I lived in Manchester, well, I can't pronounce it, guys, but anyway, I would go over to my friend's house a lot. One day I was sitting on the couch watching TV, and I heard a girl screaming in my right ear, and it was like she was screaming at the top of her lungs, but the volume was turned down. So it wasn't the true volume of a scream. There was nothing there, so I just wrote it off. Well, a week later, one of the guys whipped his head around and said, I just heard a girl screaming. We both knew there was no one else in the house. I didn't hear a girl screaming, but then neither did anyone else when she screamed in my ear. I don't think she was mean or bad. I think she was sad, lonely, wanting attention, and I felt bad that I couldn't reach out to her. Okay, guys, we're going on to the next one. I'm just having a drink of coffee, so bear with me. And I'm having banana bread, so just bear with me. Wow. Okay. Staff here started hitting the inside of a closet door. I was late night gaming. My dog was hanging out with me, and started to bark into the dark bedroom. When I went to check it out, I could hear fingernails scratching inside my bedroom closet. As I got closer, the scratching started getting quieter. The sound stopped when I was right in front of the closet. Crash! Stuff started hitting the inside of the closet door. I ran straight outside. No way I was going to stay in there alone this time. 30 minutes go by and my buddy comes over to come check things out with me. I open up the closet to find all my clothes and hangers all over the floor of the closet. We searched every wall and ceiling for any openings, no secret doors to be found. He whispered in my ear. When I was younger, I was helping my aunt clean an office, and she was hired to clean, and lots of stuff happened there. The one that spooked me the most was when I was emptying trash cans while my aunt vacuumed and my brother did dishes. Suddenly a man's voice whispers in my ear. Ooh, I don't know how to say it, but anyway. Kind of like he was playing with a toy gun, and we were the only people there. Oh, hi, Grandma. It's a story about Oh, hi, Grandma. One day when my daughter was 2, we were having a typical terrible 2 moment. She was throwing a tantrum of about 5 to 10 minutes, and we couldn't get it under control. At some point, she rather suddenly stopped and started staring at the wall. She then started lightly giggling. It was weird. 1 second she was crying, and the next thing she's screaming, and the next she's smiling and happy. Then she starts saying, "Funny lady," over and over. We asked her who she was. She pointed to the wall and again said, "The funny lady." When we asked her to describe who she was, she described my deceased grandmother. I mean, exactly described her. She had never met her, and I don't think never seen a picture of her. But that was a 2-year-old who could remember a picture. But I am not a believer in the paranormal, but I know for sure that my daughter got a chance to meet my mum, and that makes me happy. When I told the story to my parents, they didn't seem as shocked as I was. When I tried to get a response from them, they looked at me and said, "I guess you don't remember that you met your deceased grandfather when you were 3. The same exact thing happened to you 30 years ago. Okay, well that's a bit odd, people. Anyway, if you like this video, comment down below, hit the like button, subscribe, smash it, and a like, and give it a good thumbs up so I know that you guys like my content. Then here's another story about the hangers. Before my dad and my stepmom married, she'd come over and the hangers in the front closet would rattle non-stop while she was there. The clothes would all be all over the floor when she left. Taking the hangers out would be no good. We emptied the closet once and the door would shake violently when stepmom came over. One loud, solitary handprint. I was down showering. I was once showering, door locked, when I heard the blinds fall down. It freaked me out, so I pulled back the shower curtain to investigate. I'm thinking my brothers are trying to break in and play a prank on me or something. So I pulled the blinds up to look out the window. The window was completely fogged over from inside, minus one large solitary handprint. I was scared as hell. Finished my shower and told my family members. We all compared to handprints to one of the one on the window. No one was as big. And that's it for that stories, guys. That's it for that story. So if you like any of those stories, let me know in the comment section down below. I know they are short. I just need to take a bite of my banana bread. So, I thought I was going to add this together to make it quite long. So, let me just bear with you. Woo. Okay, so now I found this website here, and it's about more ghost stories, but it's also a chilling one, so hope you are ready for this one. Chilling ghost stories that will make you believe in the afterlife. So yeah, we are going to read these stories, and then after that, you guys know what to do after that. Smash, comment, and like. And just subscribe. Okay. And then I will let you guys know what I'm planning to do through this year, for the end of this year or next year. So I'll tell you now, I'm planning to go to cemeteries around where I've just moved to again. So I was going to go and check one out last week when I went to the doctors to get a test done, and I found out that we couldn't go into the cemetery because there was a sign saying that it was up for maintenance. I think they're doing something, so I'm going to wait until it's all done so that I could go investigate it. If they allow people to go through there, I want to go and look at it because it's a very old cemetery, and I've looked it up online, and it's a very old cemetery, and I would like to go there, but if don't want to go there if there's snakes hanging around in the grass, because I know that grass is quite long, so hopefully they mow it and stuff like that. But that's what I want to plan to do, and go and check it out, and see what we can investigate there. So, well, I'll update you whenever I do that. So here we go. According to 2007 poll by, I was just reading that and I was thinking, okay, it's got nothing to do with it. Okay, we'll go for the story, The Little Hands. I've never lived in a haunted house, but my mother did as a teenager. Other houses on her street had strange things going on. A few homes away from her lived a man and his family. One night, one of his daughters went to bed with a bad headache. The next day, she was dead. She passed away from an. How do you say that? Aneurysm. After the funeral, the family went away to get their minds off the tragedy, and the father asked my uncle, my mother's brother, to check on their pets. My mom and dad, they were dating then, went with my uncle. My mother had heard there was a grand piano that she wanted to play it, and my dad was studying to be a Victorian, like a vet. After entering the house, my uncle and father headed to the basement to see animals, and my mother went to the piano to the ground floor. She was playing it when she felt something brush her ankles. She thought a cat must have left the basement and walked past her. She kept playing and she felt it again, and she looked under the piano and saw nothing. But when she started again playing the piano, she felt hands grasp her legs and grab them tightly. She dashed to the basement door, called my uncle and father, and waited for them. When they all walked outside, my uncle could tell my mum that was rattled and asked what was wrong. She told him what had happened, and he turned white. He told her the daughter who died used to play a game with her father. When he'd play the piano, she'd crawl underneath, grab his ankles, and push his feet up and down on the pedals. So that is quite spooky. Guys, I think I'm going to have to sit up here because my foot is falling asleep. Sorry about that. Let me just turn my mouse on. And I haven't finished my banana bread. Okay, here we go. Okay, guys, let's see what the next one is. The unseen patient. Okay. The ambulance company that I used to work for had a haunted ambulance rig 12. I don't know what that means on the story, but it says it. A lot of EMTs had stories about it, but I never put much stock in paranormal stuff. That is until my own experience with Reg 12. My partner and I were working in a rural community at 3 in the morning. It was pitch dark and completely quiet. We were both dozing. I was in the driver's seat and she was in the passenger seat. So it's basically, I don't know. But anyway, we'll get to it. I was thinking of something else, but I woke up to a muffled voice and I thought my partner was talking. I told her I was trying to sleep and closed my eyes. I distinctly heard a male's voice say, "Oh my God, am I dying?" Followed by a few seconds of heavy breathing. My partner and I sat up straight and looked back into the patient compartment where it sounded like the voice had come from. Things were quiet for a couple of seconds, and then we heard the click of the oxygen bottle regulator and a hiss. If it was leaking, turned the lights, we ran out of the rig. I thought a transient might have climbed in while we were asleep, so we opened the doors. No one was there, and I checked the oxygen bottles. Neither was opened, and we didn't sleep much after that. Spooky. Oh man, I just made a coffee, guys. The Empress Ghost. Okay, my daughter Diane and I had playful horror ghost for years, and we called it Billy. I'd come home and find something put in a weird place. Milk in a cupboard, toilet paper in the fridge, laundry detergent in the bathtub. Diane once called to ask if Billy had been around because she couldn't find a gallon of milk. We finally found it outside of the back steps, and sugar. Darn sugar. Every morning my sugar bowl was empty. When I had enough, I'd point to Diane's home and yell, "Go see Diane!" Within 5 minutes, I'd get a call from her and she'd say, thanks a lot, because she'd gone and pulled, how do you say that? Whatever it's called, at her place. This occurred for the entire 2 years we lived there. No one believed us, not even our husbands. My mother thought someone was stealing from us when we were sleeping, or out of the house. My sister believed something was going on, but didn't know what, and I still can't explain any of it. And some story about an attic. How long is this story? Okay, it seemed so clenched to start by saying I don't believe in ghosts, but however, that's where I'm coming from. A few years ago, I moved into a one-bedroom apartment in Melbourne, Australia. It was my first living on my own. The apartment block had been built in the 1930s. I'd been there for a few months. When I came home from work one day and went into the bathroom, I saw something strange. The wooden board covering a hole in the ceiling that led to a small attic space lay broken in two pieces on the ground. I examined the broken pieces. The board was an inch thick, and it would have been taken a Bruce Lee to break it. I thought the landlord had sent someone to work on the attic, and I was frozen stiff with fear. I thought someone was up there for sure. I emailed pictures to the landlord asking if anyone had been there, with an undertone of annoyance since she hadn't warned me. Her reply read, please call me as soon as you are able to. I called and she explained that her last two tenants had said the same thing happened. She promised to replace the board, and she did. A month later, I woke up one night around 4 a.m. I had so many goosebumps. It felt like someone was rubbing his or her hands on me. Everything was silent, but then I heard the sound coming from above my bed. It was a dragging sound, like someone pulling a sack of potatoes. I was frozen stiff with fear. I thought someone was up there for sure. There is no way an animal could make that sound. After 5 minutes, I managed to work up the courage to turn on the light and walk to the bathroom. I aimed with a cricket bat, armed with a bat. When I looked, I saw that the new board covering the hole was broken in two. I felt sick. The dragging sound had stopped, but I heard something else, whispering. The sound was clear and coming from the attic. It sounded like children's voices, and I could hear one sentence repeated over and over. It's your turn, it's your turn. I switched on every light in the apartment to make things feel normal. It was 5 a.m. and dark outside. I watched TV to try to unwind, then a fuse blew. My pet budgie, Dexter, whom I kept in the kitchen, usually never made a sound at night, but he started squawking like he was being strangled. I never heard him make those noises, and he was screaming. I grabbed my car keys, ran out, sat in the car, and waited until the sun came out. When I saw people walking their dogs, this confronted me enough to go back in. The front door was open, but I thought I hadn't closed it when I ran out. I went to the kitchen to check on Dexter, and he wasn't in his cage. I felt sick again. All my windows were closed, so I looked everywhere inside. When I walked into the bathroom, I heard splashing. Dexter was half drowned in the toilet. I took him out, washed him, and dried him, so I was confused. At 8 in the morning, I called the landlord and gave her a watered-down version of the night. Oh, well, you heard the whispering too, she said. I stayed in that apartment for another 18 months. I heard the whispering on a few occasions. Twice the board covering the hole in the ceiling moved. Although I live elsewhere, the landlord recently called. She said that her new tenants begged to speak with me about some of the stuff that's been going on there. Forget it. It's their problem now. Alright. So there is one more story to read to you, and then I'm going to end the video there. Also, please comment down below. Let me know what story was the best story. One night when I was 10, I was woken up by my bedroom door opening, followed by someone sitting on my bed. I felt my legs grazed and the bed sink underneath a person's weight. Thinking it was my mum, I opened my eyes to see an eyeless boy. He had black empty sockets, about my age, sitting at the front of the bed. He extended his hand and it was a little box. I was startled, but reached out. He pulled back. I reached again and said, "Give it." Then I blinked. When I opened my eyes, he was gone, but the imprint of someone sitting on my bed was present. Fast forward 5 years, my girlfriend came over to do homework. After she finished, she took a nap while she waited for her parents when they arrived. I tried waking her up. She opened up her eyes, suddenly looking up at a corner where the wall met the ceiling. She pointed there and went back to sleep. I shook her again. She came to full consciousness and explained what she'd seen, what she's done. She said, "Up on the wall, I saw a little boy with no eyes. He was there in a Spider-Man's pose, staring at me. I freaked out and told her my story about the same kid." Fast forward for another 5 years. I was with the same girlfriend and we had a 2-year-old. We were living with my parents' house in my old room. My daughter started waking up the same time every night and she'd talk. After a while, I noticed she had almost the little same conversation every night. I playfully asked her once when she was talking to. She said, "It's a little boy, he's nice, he's lost and looking for his mummy." The daughter's nightly conversations continued until we got our own place later that year. So guys, what do you all think? Did you enjoy it? Comment down below, let me know what you all thought of it. Subscribe if you are new and do the thumbs up, comment, subscribe if you're new. I'm thinking I will do some more stories like this if you were interested, so comment down below. I do read comments and I do try to respond back as much as I can, so there you go guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. I'm hoping that it is gonna be an adventure the next time.